Hello and welcome to the B button. Here we are yet again. I'm your host Baron Marf, and joining me as always my compadre in arms, Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good.
Cool. So pretty big week.
Yeah, it's been tiresome, but been exciting though.
We were going to throw out the format this week because let's be honest, Bullet Bill's big three would be Bullet Bill's big
E3.
3 pages. Yeah, E3. Yeah, exactly that. So what we got first of the conferences? What did we?
Well, we're gonna just jump straight in.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little intro.
No, wade into
what we're
it.
doing this week, right?
No, let's hit it.
Well, it started on Sunday with EA Play. Obviously, they've forgone the traditional. We're gonna wait till Monday, and then through the E3 schedule, pull a conference out. And they did their own little event. They had dual sites, one in America and then one in the UK in London. I don't know. For me, it's horribly cringy. Dull as shit, and they didn't really show anything in terms of gameplay other than Battlefield 1.
Yeah, so I was like super hyped for this because to me this was like, right, this is the beginning of E3, the pre-E3, and it's actually E3 conference, all super excited about it. And I thought, if this is how E3 is going to be, I'm ready for a disappointing year.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of the big stuff for EA's had kind of already leaked. Obviously, Titanfall 2 had leaked. I mean, they had some really big games, but they didn't actually show any of their games. They were generally just showing videos of here's the developers talking about developing the game.
Yeah.
It's like Andromeda. If that was a year ago or a year and a half ago, you can kind of accept it, but like, you should be at least showing some form of gameplay by now. Yeah,
I totally agree. It seemed like they were just showing something rather than showing off stuff.
Yeah, well, this is it. There's no real wow moments in that for me.
Yeah.
Other than maybe the sort of sarcastic, wow, this is it.
Yeah. So what did they announce?
Titanfall 2 was the new, obviously known about quantity.
Yeah.
They had their new IP fee, which was again obviously the success from it's the little really cute one. Oh, this just eluded me all of a sudden. The one that they released earlier in the year.
Oh man,
But yeah, obviously their new little indie side of it, they've kind of gone back in for that, and there's just some cutesy little indie game, blah blah blah. And again, they talked about what new Star Wars games they're making, but we saw maybe 10 seconds of Amy Hennig's studio, their game.
Yeah, they didn't show a lot, did
Obviously,
they?
we know Battlefield Front 2 is coming out next year, and that's Jade Redmond's studio. I think that's Visceral taking care of that.
Let's be honest, Battlefield is the big E3.
It was for that.
But is it EA or is it DICE? DICE were more present in Battlefield 4 in announcing it before. Now it's a bit more. I don't know. Obviously, I know they're present. I know they're saying a bit, but it feels like this is EA's announcement now rather than previously it was DICE who were doing. It was a big thing that DICE were there. They were this year, but it was their announcement.
Well, I think with how much of DICE's tech that EA uses now.
Frostbite's everywhere, isn't it?
I mean, they're now using it on FIFA,
the
new FIFA. So I think it's a case of DICE basically are EA's technical support as well as.
It's like Rare to Nintendo back in the day, really.
As
in, they were the
like their best
prized,
second party.
Developer.
Yeah, I think you've pretty much hit the nail on the head really there. They do seem to have their fingers in a lot of EA's big pies.
Yeah, pie handling.
But yeah, no, I mean it was horribly cringy for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole pre-show thing with those two guys. I mean, I don't know who at EA.
I don't know.
They must be popular with the youth of today, but I can't see how.
I don't know.
Just it grated.
It's getting. I must admit, I did find generally with EA this year that is EA with E3 this year, it was becoming more show based. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're really pushing these whole presenters being
Well, it's
talking you
it's
through.
very much a consumer based, whereas before, like when it started, it was very much a networking
Yeah.
kind of conference, and this was where publishers went to find developers that were trying to sell their games and get publishing deals. Where
Mhm.
it's not that so much now, and I mean you see that everything's now. I mean YouTube, the presence they've got at E3, every conference was on YouTube. They've run their show for 3 days.
Yeah.
With interviews with different devs and houses and publishers, so it's become very much. I suppose you could call it the video game Oscars,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah.
Obviously,
very much
there is an actual video game Oscars, but
so. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah,
EA
it is-
all in all, their press conference,
bleh.
and anything which interests you that.
No, I regret having it on. I feel it was 2 hours wasted of my life.
Take that, EA. Take it away with you.
And then obviously the one that I missed because it was on at 3 o'clock in the bloody morning was Bethesda's.
It's a shame, really, because I'd be a lot more interested in Bethesda's over EA.
Yeah, they've got they've got more interesting things to show off than for me. I mean, it's a fairly good conference. It expanded upon last year, obviously, where they had a bit more to show.
Yep.
Obviously, Dishonored 2 was a big focus, was the main sort of big highlight.
Okay, so I've only got one grievance with Dishonored 2, and other than that, I'm completely happy and super stoked for it.
It's not out soon enough.
It's the female bit thing. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be sexist, but generally, with these sorts of things, I want my lead character to be male.
Oh, you are stoking the flames.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not saying
Come on.
there's nothing wrong. I mean, I'm sure that women feel like they want their lead character to be female.
well,
but for me personally,
I can see though
it's sexist. I know. But
oh yeah,
it's not meant in that way.
No. It's just how you prefer. Because again, you associate better with men. It's one of those. I mean, I was thinking about this earlier with obviously the whole heat that's come from Nintendo and Link.
Yeah.
And all of that, but I don't know if it's done within a good story because it's actually the Empress's daughter, the little girl that you saved. Because obviously it's 15 years later, isn't it?
Yeah.
So at least it works within the narrative.
No, I get it. It's everything
But
about it. It's literally just that whole thing about. And it's a dreadful way to think about it. But if I want physicality in a game, brutal physicality in a game, which at some point in Dishonored I want to drop down behind somebody and fuck someone up, I tend to look more towards a male character than a female character. That's really what it comes down to. And although the storyline works and all that, and I look at the gameplay and I'm up for it and everything about it, that's just a silly thing for me. But other than that, amazing, looks great, looks really good.
Oh, fair play.
What about you? Is it your cup of tea?
I tried playing the first one, didn't really get into it. I mean, it's one of those games that, having read about it and the emergent gameplay, and obviously they talked a bit about it again in the conference.
Yeah.
That, like, again, the playtesters and the people that were alpha testing and beta testing, the combinations of different powers and how they're being used in ways that the developers never imagined is staggering already.
Yeah.
So I loved that whole aspect of it, and I loved the little mini, because each of it was a mini sandbox, basically, that you could find your own way around and find your angle and how you wanted to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't really get into it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's one of those I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't really get to enjoy it. But I like to look at it. It's one of those kind of games I'd like to see someone do on a Let's Play.
Yeah.
The same way that I couldn't be bothered to play The Last of Us, but it's a really great game, so I watch someone play it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just find someone without running commentary, because those are the worst.
So, Bethesda, what else do they?
Well, there was a few bits that they showed off, new bits. You got Quake Champions,
Yep.
which again, it's Quake, it's PvP.
Yeah, it's Quake. I
Yeah.
mean, let's be honest, Quake's got a huge following. People are going to be going
it's
nuts
pretty
over
much the game that defined online multiplayer, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's an Elder Scrolls card game. It's very much like Hearthstone,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I must admit, I'm not fussed about that, but that's probably because I'm not massively into Elder Scrolls, but...
No. The big one was, really, though, was the Skyrim remaster, or special edition, which is obviously dropping for PC and Xbox One and PS4.
Will that make you delve into the world of Skyrim?
No, I tried it on the 360, and it's just one of those that It's just too much.
Too much investment.
It's the same way that I really liked Fallout 3, but I never actually finished it.
Yeah. It's exactly the same for me.
It's the kind of game that, if no other games are ever released, this is the last game you ever need buy. It's like No Man's Sky is going to be one of those kind of games.
Yeah, even more so.
It's a game that's a scary proposition, really, isn't it? Because it's not just, oh, here's this wondrous world. Oh, no, here's one wondrous world that I could spend a lifetime searching. But there's 18 quintillion of those, potentially.
Be strong, Link. Be strong. I hope you've got your little PS4 kitty ready.
Well, this is the thing, though, isn't it? It's getting serious. Especially, we'll find out later on, and we'll talk about some more stuff. But it is getting very serious and expensive. And I think the last big one was the Prey reboot. Obviously, this is a game that's got a massive cult following. And a lot of people were very disappointed when the sequel was cancelled.
Snuffed, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people are excited about that. I don't know much about it personally. It's a PC game that I never played because I didn't have a gaming PC.
Bethesda as a conference overall,
pretty good. Again, to the point. There's no real extended talks of, oh, we're great, let's pat ourselves on the back.
We don't need that filler bounce, do we? We just want what's the next game and show me it.
The changing nature of it.
Show me it, yeah. Show me.
You're not trying to sell it to publishers and all of the ilk. You're trying to sell it to the consumer straight away. So yeah, it's very much the business side of it. You don't need to really go for.
Yeah. Okay, so all in all, Bethesda, I was pretty cool with it.
Yeah, no, I was quite yeah.
I think I didn't find anything repugnant in it. I was like, yeah. There
was no real cringy moment at all from it.
Yeah.
There was no. Ugh,
but do you know what? I think that just says a lot about EA. I have a opinion on EA, and funny enough, their press conference reinforces it for me. And then same for Bethesda.
Yeah. I think you've pretty much summed it up correct there.
So the biggies now, or one of the biggies.
Well, I think you really are talking. You've got
potentially the biggest, maybe.
For this year. Maybe, because again, you can always say there's always that big who won E3 talk at the end of every year, isn't there? But
Andrew Houser kind of disarmed PlayStation's looming pretension of hardware announcement, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, they shut it down firsthand, which we talked about last week, wasn't it? I think that was probably the best move, because it
was definitely the best shout, without a doubt. Yeah.
But it's something that, again, if it's not going to be out till next Christmas, who cares?
Yeah.
Just say it's coming. We're working on it, but we're not ready to talk about it in any great detail. But yeah, so obviously, which will move straight into, obviously, in the segue that's wonderfully worked with Microsoft and their Scorpio announcement.
Yeah.
Which is what obviously.
So this is the biggie for Microsoft this year. I mean, don't get me wrong, they had, without sort of jumping too far ahead, I really enjoyed Microsoft's conference. I thought it was really good. But the big one, which was kind of like the prepare to spend more money, was really Scorpio, wasn't it? As in, you're going to see something in Christmas next year.
Yeah. I think it's one of those they've got a handle on it and they're controlling the message.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've been putting up with weeks and weeks of leaks and rumours and speculation. So now they put a lid on it. They've actually, and everything was confirmed that we'd sort of heard.
Yeah.
Like with the whole 6 teraflops, which obviously I haven't done a bit of research on it. That the only cards on the market that are pushing that can handle 4K output, not at 60 frames per second comfortably, but that's because they're having to run Windows, and it's again a proprietary machine that's only running games always performs better. So yeah, 4K output is no problem.
It looks good. Don't get me wrong. I think they got halfway through that, and so at which point I was like, pre-order.
Yeah.
It'll pre-order. Not actually I haven't, but you've got that kind of. I know I'm going to need this straight away, but it does also drive other hardware. Like if you ain't got a 4K TV.
Well, again, Spencer, Big Phil's been saying about you will need a 4K TV.
Yeah. What VR will you have?
And this is the thing that was never mentioned. but it's capable.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk a bit more about it in the Sony bit later on, but it does make me wonder if we're in what you go for in this kind of traversing from one generation to another. You know, what do you put your money on? And at the moment, Microsoft seems to be banking on the whole Scorpio thing by saying we're backloading it to the end of next year. So you start going, right, what am I buying now, and what, you know, you're still going to have games which are compatible on both, but it's just the fact, you know, and they've made that whole pitch about everything will be 4K with a non-4K option, you know, and all this sort of stuff. But
well, it's pretty much as long as you can work it correctly, then it's not a problem.
Yeah, but yeah, let's see how they actually implement that.
Because Phil Spencer did. I wouldn't say categorically. Well, I would categorically state that there will be no Scorpio exclusives.
Yeah, so let's see.
Yeah. But then it brings us up to the next one, obviously the 4K Xbox One Slim, which obviously it's got the 4K output and the HDR. There's a few improvements. It will be the cheapest Ultra HD Blu-ray player on the market.
Yeah, it's a strong position they put themselves in.
Yeah, they've basically done the old Sony one that they've done for the last few years, because again, the PS2 was probably one of the best DVD players you could buy for the money at the time.
Yeah.
The PS3 was the best, or the cheapest Blu-ray drive you could buy for the time, or the best one. Well, it was a good system, so they've done that switch. But will do you reckon the announcement of the Scorpio hint the Xbox Slim sales?
I don't think so. I think it's
because again the 4K output and
is what bridges it
as well. The high dynamic color range.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is quite a few things.
Still a hell of an investment. You got to think about your 4K TVs now. It's like
You know. Oh yeah. Well, now you can pick up a 4K TV for fairly reasonable, less than a VR headset.
Yeah, or you could look at the serious business jobbies, the 65-inch Sony XD93 at £2,700. You know, it's like
that is the thing.
Other HD TVs are available.
But yeah, so obviously moving away from the hardware, it's a case of moving on to the software, and obviously opened with Gears, big demo of Gears. Got gameplay from that. What did you think of that?
I thought it looked like a better Gears.
But Gears,
yeah. Which is kind of what you want, you know, because Gears is a very unique gameplay mechanic that they use that covers. I say unique, sorry. It's the first and the best.
Yeah.
Cover-to-cover mechanic that was really... I'd say the first, obviously there was other ones, but I mean the first one which did this whole takes you to cover and moves you from point to point.
It allows you to drive and create a more linear cinematic experience. Like you say, this is... You can almost see that was kind of... Not necessarily like with Uncharted. It's very similar in that respect, that it's...
They want when you're fighting, they want it in a specific direction, don't they?
That's it. But... obviously the big surprise of Mr. Phoenix, or the senior, showed up in the
bus pass.
Yeah, with his bus pass, his beard and his bus pass.
Yeah. He's aged well.
Yeah.
Grey though.
But again, we'll find out about some other grey and beards later.
Yeah.
This one I was excited about, Forza Horizon 3. Obviously we was expecting a Forza announcement, and obviously Horizon was going to be the one, but Australia. Yeah,
you're the Forza fan. Does Australia tickle your fancy?
I don't really care where it is, as long as there's some good roads and some good off-roading. And from what I've been looking at, it's like they've revamped the festival system, whereas like you're the boss now and you can sort of lead where it goes, or we'll expand it here and go there. And so I really
what about map size?
I think they said it was 3 to 4 times the size of Forza Horizon 2.
It's pretty big.
It's a big jump, because 2's pretty big. There's a lot of roads.
So is that for you like a day one?
Yeah, instant day one purchase, and the fact that it's been announced and dated, I think it's September the 27th or 29th.
It's close, man.
Yeah, just around the corner, so looking forward to that.
Cool.
Inside, the Limbo dev, Play Dead.
Yeah.
Their new game's obviously dated, and that is July.
And they're giving away Limbo as well,
to try and Limbo free.
Stimulate interest.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's the follow-up to Limbo. So
what did you think of Inside, from what you've seen?
Do you know, I didn't watch any of it. I didn't want to. I was just like, do you know what, I'm going to leave that bit.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm not going to ruin any of it by talking about it, but what I will say is it's piqued my interest.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I first saw Limbo at D3 all those years and years and years ago, and it was just like, looks amazing.
All I'll say is visually it feels very Limbo, but the next step, as in we've got a bit more money to actually develop something we want to look in a very particular style now, and so it's very stylised. And although I've got no idea anything about the game whatsoever from what I saw, it's just literally, okay, that looks interesting, and then that's where it ends. It's like, oh wait, no, what else is there?
Wait, stop! Come back!
Okay, so cool, that's inside.
We've also got Gwent, the card game from The Witcher 3, is again rumoured.
Does it surprise you that this has been announced?
No. Yes and no. Obviously, with the cult following that it's gained over the internet over the last sort of several months, it's not surprising me in any shape, way, or form.
And they were saying when they were talking about it on the stage that people have actually made their own Gwent cards. This has been such a strong following.
Yeah, that's it. They actually play the game tabletop style.
There's literally two types of people in The Witcher who play The Witcher. There's ones who play it and they get introduced to Gwent at the beginning of the game. They're like, right, let's get through this so I can get on with the game, and then they never play Gwent again. That's me.
I was one of them.
Or you've got people like our compadre in arms, Cryoman, who basically started playing Gwent and went, holy shit, this is amazing, and then has just absolutely rinsed it since then.
I've just never played The Witcher beyond. Right, that's it. I've found my spot.
Just get through the storyline so I can get to the next Gwent team. So yeah, I mean, I think good on them. I love it when a game comes from a game.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's CD Projekt as well. I mean, we're big fans here. Yeah, the B button. Yeah.
So after Gwent was
there was the Xbox Design Lab as well.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what the Design Lab was,
there's been obviously a lot of websites and companies that have popped up over the last few years where you can order and customise console accessories.
Buy buttons, like little different analog sticks and stuff
triggers,
like that. Put lights and stuff.
Different wraps, you can get them engraved. And
yeah,
I mean, I was reading a story the other day, a guy and his kids spent something like $800 making their own custom controllers. They both got the same one. Obviously, the kid did all the design, and then his dad got them, and they both got the names, and so it was brilliant. And obviously, Microsoft want a piece of that pie. Yeah,
so they've heard about this loving relationship between father and son, and thought we can make money on that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's not a bad thing. It allows people to express themselves, and we all know how people have to be unique.
Yeah, we've got the options. So what's it? I mean, so basically, it's go onto Microsoft's website and design yourself a controller, changing button colours and all sort of combinations. Even get something like etched on
laser and etched, as they put it.
And then they send it out to you. But for me, you asked me earlier on, are you going to design lab yourself a controller, Mark? And the first thing I said was, are they doing elite controllers or are they normal ones? They went, and you said it's just normal ones, and I went, no.
Yeah. That is the thing.
Why? If you've got an elite controller, how do you then
controller though?
Yeah, in what sense?
Yeah, because obviously they're releasing the new Xbox Slim. Well, you've got the new improved, better Bluetooth something. Oh, the textured back grip. So yeah, it'll work instantly with a PC. Windows 10 PC now. So. But yeah, I'm not really overly enamoured. I do like the idea of getting a nice one in sort of like some Zelda green with yellow buttons and Angry Link.
How long until they do this with the actual consoles?
Well, I remember I loved the Dreamcast and the GameCube for those, because they did some really wacky, bizarre colours. Yeah, I loved that.
Like Start Orange. Do you remember the burnt orange?
Yeah. I had the platinum one. The Zelda one. It was gorgeous.
See, for me personally, I'd probably want mine in a nice mahogany.
I'll get a proper wood wrap.
Yeah, actual. Nice. Yeah. wooden Xbox Slim.
Sort of a real harken back to the Apple II days, or the original Apple I days.
Yeah, lovely. What sort of money are we talking about for these?
Well, it's all in dollar dues,
Yeah.
American at the moment, and it was $80 for a standard controller. Well,
Dollars?
obviously for the controller,
Yeah.
and an extra $10 for a laser engraving.
So basically, $90 to get you the controller of your design. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's only in basically North American regions at the moment. They're looking to push into obviously other areas, Europe, and again, I'm gonna suggest Japan, but
Japan.
I doubt very much. They probably sell more controllers than they do consoles.
Well, good luck to them. We'll see what happens. They won't be getting my money, sadly, but
No, I think until they start doing the Elite with a few more. Because think how much people would spend $250 on an Elite controller.
Yes,
no problem.
Yes, I will.
But yeah, then we Happy Few, another indie game that's Kickstarter from last year, really bizarre one.
So this is on my top 10 list of interests because solely based on, I don't know what the gameplay is going to be like, but just based on what it looks like and the clips they've shown so far of people not on their joy and it just being, that really interests me.
Yeah. Well, it's again, there's procedural generation levels, so no, it's not like it's going to be the same through levels over and over again.
To me, it feels
So
like a mix between Time Splitters and Bioshock is where I'm kind of at.
There's been a lot of Bioshock comparisons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that lot of sort of dystopian, alternate future or past. But yeah, no, it's an intriguing one. I mean, it was a very interesting demo.
Yeah, I thought so.
They showed, especially like you say with the pinata. So
Yeah,
that was interesting.
That was brutal.
It'd be interesting to see what else comes from that.
really interesting design. Yeah.
Obviously we had a good scale-bound demo.
Yeah.
With a drop in and out multiplayer.
Yeah.
And the one horrible, cringy. I'm pretty sure maybe Apple have paid someone to get beats in on that demo.
Yeah. That
Well,
was
obviously not in the game, but the gameplay demo. One of the guys, it was let's just linger.
Oh, no,
on him.
wait. Let me just put my headphones on.
Yeah.
Like, cringe. But I mean, so Scalebound to me looked really, really good. But I did epic.
Yeah.
Massive battle. Looked really busy to me.
Yeah. Oh, it will be. I mean, it's the scale of it was pretty big because
pun intended.
You've got a pretty large companion with your dragon.
Well, yeah.
And then they were made to look small by the super dude crab.
Octopus boss crab thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I was really excited last year. Somewhat tempered.
No, I'm just release it now. Let's see what it's really like.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had State of Decay 2 has been announced.
I think we all knew that was coming. It did immensely well on the 360 and then again on the Xbox One.
Yeah, the remaster with the old dick textures.
Yeah. Cocks everywhere.
I mean, again, I think it's just going to expand on it. Obviously, the big change. Yeah.
Needs more cops.
Yeah. Mighty erections.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big news is it's multiplayer, 4-player co-op, which I think was pretty much the top thing that was requested from the fans.
That's going to push that game model over the edge, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
that's going to solidify that as a solid IP onwards.
Well, that for me makes it more of a prospect. I'm very much into my co-op gameplay. I love the idea of making a little crew and just go in together. And I
like that whole sort of survival element with more than one player as well. Being like, if you go off in that direction, I get attacked. You have to come back and help me.
Yeah, well, this is it. You've got to work together to achieve a common goal.
Yeah. It's cool.
Obviously, there was also Dead Rising 4. Speaking of zombies.
Yeah.
That was a big one. That was a really good trailer. I did enjoy that.
Loads of people have looked at that trailer and just gone, "Why Christmas? Why Christmas?" But I looked at it and I just thought,
why not?
Yeah, and Frank's
zombie
back.
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
With his Triceratops, fire-breathing Triceratops head.
All they did was they took some of the things in the most wackiest stuff in other games were like, and they've gone, yeah, well now it's a Triceratops, and that's kind of enough for anybody.
Brilliant. Yeah, obviously that's going to be an exclusive. Well, that's also going to be out this Christmas, being a not Christmas game. Yeah, and that's going to be an Xbox exclusive for a year.
Yeah, we love that.
Well, obviously it's always primarily been an Xbox franchise, hasn't it?
Yeah. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't snapped up exclusivity.
I think Capcom just obviously they're looking at the 40 million PlayStations. Yeah, we've got to get it on PlayStation.
Make it a big novelty check as well.
Yeah,
when you give some money.
The one I think my favourite part of the conference for me, Sea of Thieves gameplay.
Yeah, so that's changed quite a lot, Sea of Thieves, from what we saw last year. It's now 4. I only saw 4 people on that ship. I didn't see.
Well, they've not actually finalised. They're still sort of iterating. They're very, very much on the idea of getting out of beta, much like Legends, but it's not going to be free to play. So we're not going to see Rare getting fucking shut down.
Thank God.
Sorry, that's me just touching some wood.
Phrasing boom.
But yeah, that looked exciting to me. I mean, there's a really great line in the trailer when it was doing the little captions, and it has great water, because it did look fantastic.
Yeah.
Like when you're out on the sea and watching it did look amazing. And I really do love the idea of just ganging up with a few mates and just going and sailing the high seas.
The thing is, you watch the video and you think cringe when people are like, wow, oh no. But then you were saying that there were some interviews with people afterwards and they were all like, no, actually you do end up going, oh, ooh.
Yeah, it's one of those, because I mean, you were saying to me, you don't much like the idea of, all right, I'm gonna be just on a ship pushing ropes and
phrasing boom,
right? And I can understand that, but yeah, it's very much.
Sorry, I had to. Phrasing boom, yeah, pushing rope. Yeah, no, but I don't. I don't want to be sat there for like 45 minutes working a pulley. Phrasing.
But then there's different things. There is a very much like, this is where they're trying to work out the optimum crew size.
Yeah.
Because you want to make it not too small that you're always constantly running around having to do something and you can't just get on.
But
at the same time, you don't want it that you've got too many.
Yeah, but
that everyone's just stuck on the same job for ages.
But doesn't it worry you that they're still defining this stuff now? Because it seems to me like the core mechanics of this game is, I'm a pirate, I want to be a successful pirate, so therefore I have to either build a ship, run a crew, treasure hunt, that sort of thing. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like they know, because you seem to be spending you're going to be on your ship a lot, I'd assume, or a fair amount.
No, because you can go off finding islands. There's going to be treasure hunting mythical monsters. And
I'm not looking at the island stuff. Well, I know there's all that, all that good stuff to come. It's more the fact that, like Black Flag, it's quite an investment of your time on the sea.
Yeah.
You watch those sort of battles where cannonballs were coming in, everyone's like, oh no, a bit cheesy, but there was a bit of a feeling of, oh shit, how much time and energy have you put into building a boat, or maybe making a boat, or maintaining a boat? Well, I don't know.
Don't know enough about it.
Don't know the detail, and it's just like, why are you still working out what happens on a key part of the boat,
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. This, it's. I think they were talking about they want to try and get a beta out sort of early next year, so sort of around February, maybe March. So I think it's a case of waiting and see. They'll release some more details about it over probably around Christmas or January.
It's a Rare game. I'm excited.
It's an actual proper Rare game.
Yeah.
Like something that they want to make. So it's something to look forward to for me.
Yeah. Cool. So all in all, Microsoft
there was the last one, wasn't there? There was the Halo 2, Halo Wars 2
with the beta that they announced,
which we already knew about.
Yeah,
that was it wasn't exactly leaked.
Halo 2 looks good. Halo 2, Halo Wars 2 looks good. It's. I've downloaded the beta. Haven't played it. Haven't played it yet.
A bit like Gigantic with me then.
Yeah. Well, no, I played Gigantic and that was shit. Anyway, but yeah, Microsoft as a whole, the general presence showing, conference feeling.
Oh, I forgot about the Minecraft stuff, but I don't really care. didn't care
Minecraft stuff
about.
was what I saw of it was. If anything, I just wanted them to be doing more HoloLens stuff,
Yeah.
and
I think it was again that was the cringiest moment for me. There was a couple of annoying presenters that just blabbing on about. It was all that backslapping stuff that you think just wasting my time.
I must admit, I just want somebody to go. Right, you can do this. There's this ability to do that. Now we've got this. We've added texture maps here, so you can. But instead of going, "Hey, what's that over there? I don't know, Bill. Why don't you have a look? Oh, awesome! It's the We're not fucking idiots. Just show us it. We don't need you to pander to my potential interest.
No,
let me decide, eh? You know.
Well, you know the people that they're trying to sell to are going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, but you know. But if it was what was the gentleman who originally owned it? Begins with an M. The guy who came up with Minecraft originally.
Oh God.
With a hat, beard, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Why do I always do this when we're on air? I can never think of the name.
No.
But anyway,
Marcus Nilsson, I think it
is. Yeah, he was really like. And we're doing this now, and we're working on that. And people were like, yeah, amazing, because they were hyped about Minecraft, and he was just telling them. Now we've got this produced bollocks.
You knew, coming from Microsoft, as soon as they bought Mojang.
Yeah.
Because I found out earlier, and it is Mojang, not Mojang.
Really?
Yeah, that's from the developer, the actual CEO of the company. So
sounds like it's Mojang to me.
Mojang, yeah. Yeah, it's very much as soon as Microsoft acquired them, it was always going to be thrown into that corporate mess.
Yeah.
That is any conglomerate.
Cool. So all in all, Microsoft thumbs up.
Yeah,
and thumbs
it's a good
down?
conference. Again, they touched on some of the new dashboard stuff. So yeah, I was pretty impressed. It was a few bits here and there that annoyed me a bit, but. No, they showed what they needed to show. Some good announcements, some new games. Yeah, I was all in all. Yeah, it's not bad.
Cool.
I'd give it 4 stars out of 5.
Yeah, I'll give it 4 out of 5. Cool. So who do we have next? It was.
Well, we moved on to Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, that one was not bad. Again, I think that was possibly after EA the cringiest.
Mm-hmm.
With the opening, with the dancing and and it was almost quite surreal, and that you've got Aisha going on about the Orlando shootings, and there's a giant giraffe next to her. It's almost a bit.
Yeah, it was really a bit weird. I mean, that's 2 E3s they've wheeled her out on now, isn't it?
I think it's her 3rd now.
Oh, really?
Because it was she was after Mr. Caffeinated guy.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the most horrendous.
You think you get to that point in your career where you look at it one year and go, nah, and then you look at the second year and you go, really? And why am I doing the third? But anyway.
Well, don't forget that she's a big gamer now.
Yeah, true.
So it's not out of character. It's not like they've just wheeled some random person in. But
yeah.
I think the most important thing was, as always, the games.
Yep, so what did they announce?
Obviously, we've had some Ghost Recon Wildlands gameplay with some horribly scripted, right, you're going to go here, yeah, I'm taking him down. Like the team, air quotes, online team.
Yeah.
Ugh, that was horrendously
But gameplay looked good.
Yeah. That, for me, was what I wanted the Division to be, basically. I'm really excited about Wildlands. Yeah, it looked really good for me.
Yeah, I'm literally, I'm pretty resolute in the fact that I'm going to be getting it. It's sold it to me already.
The more and more I've read of it is right. Do you remember Mercenaries?
Yep.
And you had the deck of cards. Yeah. And you had to collect all the deck of cards basically by killing all of the things. It's basically the same aspect of that. You're dropped into this area. You've got a point of contact.
Yeah.
And you can then. Here's your map of enemies. Go at it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sold. Yeah.
It's for me. It's one of those games which, when they first showed it, as in when we first found out about it, I thought, yeah, that's going to pique my interest. And everything they've done since then, they haven't put a step wrong in my opinion. So
definitely going to need a good team though.
Yeah.
But it's again
But it's
another
the
drop
same-
in, drop out.
Yeah,
one.
that's exactly what Rainbow Six and that lot was like, when we played those. But anyway, so what else did we hear about?
Surprising one: Star Trek Bridge Commander VR. Obviously, it's a newly announced game from Ubisoft. They wheeled out a few Star Trek actors
Look,
to play.
Let's get to the crux on this one. That thing's going to sell like fucking hotcakes, and every Star Trek fan out there
the
is
minute
splooshed.
that was wheeled out, there was probably 100 million nerdgasms across the world.
Yeah.
I don't know, just being stupid with numbers, probably more, but
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to dwell on this one too long. It's Star Trek on the bridge in VR.
You know what it is? It's Sea of Thieves in Star Trek.
Well, yes, that's well. But how many people will they put on the bridge? Anyway.
Again, Division Survival expansion was announced. That's obviously going to be fairly soon.
Yep.
Again, Division. I'm gone from that.
I'm not done with it. I'm just off of it at the moment. Yeah.
Big one for me from Ubisoft though was Fractured But Whole. That's releasing the 6th of December.
So I pre-ordered my copy and got my free copy of Stick of Truth on the Xbox One. All new achievements to do.
Nice.
Started playing it. Very
nice.
nice.
The same list of achievements or new set of achievements?
Exactly same achievements. You can get them again.
Nice. But yeah, that looked good. Obviously, they had a big bit of a talk with Matt and Trey.
Yeah, I always like seeing them there.
Yeah, they cracked me up. Again, looks pretty good. They've expanded upon the mechanics of the first one. It's just, I think it's a case of just bigger, better, faster, which to me is not really a big problem.
Let's hope they have a nice, smooth development and delivery.
Yes, I was thinking about maybe when we're thinking about things that we could talk about. Are we going to have games that have been announced as here's the date? Which ones of them are actually going to keep their dates?
Yeah, that'd be.
I'm thinking that for me is one that could potentially slip.
It's going to go one way or the other. They're either going to have another problem again, or they're going to go, damn, we learnt a lot of lessons and we're not going to make those mistakes again.
It's not being developed at Oblivion this time.
Yeah.
But again, they'll be using the same engine, and I think it'll be a case of just it's the writing, I think, more necessarily than.
But let's be honest, we know from a writing point of view, nobody has writing down pat better than Matt and Trey Parker. It's more the fact of implementation into a game. But anyway, we digress.
But yeah, looking forward to that. That's obviously December the 6th.
Yep.
Just Dance 2017, which is the first Western NX game announced.
Right.
So you can definitely get your Just Dance on with the NX when that comes out.
Apart from the fact that there's NX attachment to it.
Meh.
Yeah.
And again, For Honor, that was shown in a bit more capacity. It showed some of the single player aspect of it, the campaign,
which
makes it look more interesting to me. I was actually not necessarily more interested, but I wouldn't oblige to play in it. I would actually give it a go now. Before it just looked, I'd play it for 20 minutes, get bored of it, and then once I've tried all the characters, like, that's fine, I'm done. But yeah, so that's Valentine's release. So that's obviously not too far away either.
Cool. Grow
Home 2 lands.
Yeah. Grow Home.
That's out in August.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see more on that one. For me, it's one of those where the first iteration didn't do a great deal for me. So
to be honest, I didn't.
What about
know much about it, to be honest, but
what about Watch Dogs 2?
There was quite a bit of gameplay from that. Obviously, that's going to be released in November.
So they've seemed to have, 1, pushed a bit more parkour on it, and 2, maybe made it a bit more into a game than what the state of the last one was. I initially, straight away when I saw Watch Dogs, I kind of went, the first one, I went, cool, okay, let's see what it's like. Then they basically skinned it back to some bare bones that they could actually make a game.
Yeah.
Then I played it and thought, this is shit, and was really quite resentful that I had waited so long. There'd been so much of a hoo-ha about it, and if somebody else had just released it without the previous hoo-ha, everyone would have gone 6 out of 10. Do you know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, most people did do that anyway.
Yeah, but that's. But we what we did was we all sat there waiting for it, and then they just started off with this great idea and ended up with a piece of shit. So when they announced Watch Dogs 2, I was like, and then I was like, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it on the principle of the matter. You wasted my money last time. Actually, it's a little bit better.
Well, they've actually got a bit more personality, I think, in there.
Yeah, so they changed the main character up.
Yeah, which was never a bad thing. Again, I wasn't really too interested in the first one. I liked some of the ideas and the mechanics behind it. But again, it's one of those that I'm not really too fussed about it. It's
going to have to pull something really special out of the bag, I think, to get any of my money, put it that way.
Yeah, I think it's got a long way to go. Because a lot of people felt a bit betrayed by Watch Dogs.
Sure did.
Obviously, you had Trials, Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
Or Curse of the Rise of the Blood Dragon, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That was possibly one of the cringiest moments of E3, but it was almost that they were just like, yeah, I know, I look badass.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. I'm rocking it. And I do rock it. So it's almost cringe-worthy, but acceptable.
For those who didn't see it, the cringe...
Just go and see it.
Yeah.
Just look for Trials Blood Dragon announcement. It's brilliant.
It was difficult to watch.
Yeah, but again, that was released. That's out now.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get into the game, obviously it's Trials HD with Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
I think the one really for me though that captured it for Ubisoft was their new IP, which was the last little tidbit, was Steep, which I'm really looking forward to finding out a bit more of.
So I think this piqued both of our interests, this one, because for me personally, I saw this and I went, okay, so somebody about to try and do SSX or something like that, and then they showed it was more about the mountain and all your different options, and it's a more almost exploration of a mountain and finding your own jumps and then I was like, sold. Nobody's done anything like this before. Not properly like this, where you kind of say, actually, we spent more time on the mountain than we have on the skiing or the...
Yeah, and it's all about finding lines.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've spent a bit of time
climbing
up in a few of those mountains, around that region, and I love getting snow. I love snowboarding. It's an absolutely brilliant thing to do. And I love being out in the mountains, and it just really, like you say, the majesty of it. It kind of almost captures that. It's not extreme. It's just extremely cool.
Yeah.
It just looks really good. I love the idea that you can, like you say, you can ski or snowboard. You've got your parachuting and wingsuiting. I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it looks cool.
We was talking about it earlier, and that looks to me that's gonna be my new Flower.
Your chill out game.
Yeah, obviously Flower, the PS3 game that game company did. I mean that was just the most amazing game. That say you've been in a real epic sort of Call of Duty session, and your heart rate is just absolutely hammered, and you just
2 o'clock in the morning. You're at work the following day.
Yeah,
you need to go to bed.
Wired. Stick that on for 20 minutes and just chill out. And like you say, just something to bring my heart rate back down.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of it, and I'm really excited. Really, really excited for that one.
Yeah, look forward to Steep. Cool. So moving on to our next conference.
Well, just gonna obviously move on to Sony's.
Yeah. So Sony.
That I think for me was the big one.
Yeah, and Sony was for me it was Xbox, but Sony did a really strong conference.
Just no fluff.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's what wins it, and they've
opened with a big hitter.
Yes, very much so. God of War. So obviously we were talking about it last week. The potential move to the Norse mythology. Obviously that's now confirmed.
Yep.
Kratos is now older and bearded. Still as gruff.
Yeah.
New voice actor.
But Kratos hasn't got any. Hasn't got his chains anymore. Hasn't got blades.
Well, obviously he has his young son in tow.
Yeah.
Or boy, as he was proclaiming so often.
Yeah.
But no, it looks to be more of a grounded affair in a bit more of an emotional journey, not necessarily just hyper violent taking down of titans.
That one opening showing, that one trailer from beginning to end, took me through 3 different emotional states very successfully.
Yeah.
And obviously you had the relationship between the father and son, but even like the bit with the killing the deer or the antelope, that was like right. And then then the actual action, very.
And just
very
at the very end where you see him reach out and hesitate, and you're like, this is going to be good. I think I was reading an interview with one of the developers, and he was talking about God of War has always been massively successful in America, in North America, whereas in Europe, not so much. And you looked, the games that have done really well in Europe are a bit more narrative driven and emotionally connected games. So obviously they're trying to, again, I think everyone's just trying to grow up a bit and push.
And that definitely felt like a grown-up version of God of War, and they've named it God of War, haven't they? Just
it's
God
of War.
It's it's the reboot, isn't it? In effect. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I've never played the first 2. Really love 3 though. But it is just completely over the top.
Yeah.
But no, it looks really, really good.
So what else have we got?
Well, we got a date for Last Guardian. That was dated. That's October.
And some more meat around the bones.
Yeah, there's a bit more shown. Obviously, there was a second Trico shown and potential Trico upon Trico
dog,
pattern,
bird, flight
combo thing. Yeah. That again looked really good. That got some whoops and hollers and cheers.
We've been waiting for it for long enough, but just the fact they got a date is.
Yeah, that's it. It's now stuck.
And they're not going to change it. They can't change that date.
That is the one that I was going to say is definitely nailed down.
Yeah.
Horizon though, Zero Dawn looks really, really good.
What was it which did it for you about it?
I think the scope of the map really, and reading a bit more about it, and you're going to find out. And this whole, it's not just a case of trying to survive, but it's really piqued my interest. That one has.
Cool.
I don't have to worry about it too much because it's not going to be out this year.
Yeah.
So it's one I can save up for and wait and get clear some space. Bounds, the weird ballet platformer thing. Release date. Not too fussed about that.
No,
I mean,
I wasn't.
It looks kind of nice.
Not knocking it. It's just not my cup of tea myself. But
I mean, the one that really got me though was Resi 7.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, I don't actually need to watch this because I know there's going to be some annoying jump scare, and it was like 2:30 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning. I don't need this now.
See, for me, look, the second that started, I was like, this feels like Resident Evil. And then as soon as I heard the clomp, clomp, clomp walking, I was like, it's Resident Evil.
But it can be played completely in VR.
Yeah, but that worries me.
Oh, that is going to be some shitty pants moments.
No, it worries me the fact that when they say it can be played completely in VR, is that it's not a VR game. So, is it not going to work as well in some bits because I'm playing it on VR?
No, I wouldn't imagine so, because I think you'll probably find they'll still go for the Resi 4, as we know, the over-the-shoulder default view. And we've seen in VR games it works, no problems.
Let's see what happens.
And like you say, to then put into just a first person, I can't see it being too much of an issue, to be honest. Obviously, again, we got the VR final release date, which is again October the 13th.
Yeah, which they didn't push it right at the back of the month as we thought they were going to.
No.
Lucky October 13th. Yeah.
And I think the big surprise for a lot of people was the Crash HD remasters. So that's 1, 2 and Warped.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot this is, yeah. So they had that bit where, I can't remember who it was, walked on stage and he had Crash's shadow and Crash's background on. Yeah. And everyone was like, whoop, whoop, like super, super excited. And you could tell exactly what the audience was thinking. Finally, they've rebought Crash Bandicoot, the IP, into the the modern gaming world, and they went, here's the reboot. So the HD versions.
No, even better. It was like, Crash is going to be in Skylanders.
Yeah. First, that got such a first of all in Skylanders, and he kind of moved over it quickly the second time because I was like, yeah, great, whatever. But where's the new Crash Bandicoot game? How can people be harping on about this IP for years and they haven't made it? Obviously, they're developing it now. They're in the background, not telling anybody.
Yeah.
It's all behind closed doors. But
well, don't forget, obviously, the first one, and I think the second one was done by Naughty Dog. Activision, Vivendi owned the Crash Bandicoot, so Naughty Dog never owned it. And then it transferred over to Activision, and thankfully, they've kind of not cashed in and flogged it to death.
Yet.
So yeah, I don't know. Again, I was never really a big Crash Bandicoot fan.
No,
I never saw the appeal. It was pretty much like the only half decent platforming game on the PlayStation at the time. That's kind of why it got so popular for me.
Yeah.
I just rather play Mario 64 games.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I mean, fair play to people that get excited. Just getting more HD remasters.
Yeah, I'm not
really
fussed.
too enamoured.
Not fussed, because if you play the games, they're really basic now.
It's not Beautiful Joe.
No.
That's the only one I give a shit about. That's literally the HD remaster that needs to be made. Because you can put it on everything.
That's Link's soapbox.
Yeah. Sony and Insomniac are working together again.
Holy shit!
For a
right.
PS4 exclusive that's not Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, and everyone's like, right. So would that mean some sort of zany character with a ray gun and some, planetoids and
No, it's
not.
old friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or neighbourhood friendly. Well, I don't know. I doubt he is because he can be quite with the bosses and the enemies. So.
Smash stuff up. Yeah. Our friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man. Spidey is doing Insomniac doing an exclusive game for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, you know that this is totally the deal that they've reworked with Marvel with right. You can have the movie, we keep the game.
Yeah.
But no, Insomniac. I've got no real concerns for that. I think that should be a solid game.
So Spidey looks quite similar, I mean, facially, mask-wise, as the Civil War recently.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a few differences to the costume.
Suit's different.
Yeah.
You've got white in it for one, which is like, really?
Quite striking.
Yeah.
But no, I think, again, we didn't see a great deal. I don't actually think we saw any gameplay.
We don't know.
We might have seen touched up engine.
What we might have seen is prescribed moves put in particular places for effect, and then, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've kind of used the engine and they've just tidied it up a bit and
blasted
it through a couple of really high-end graphics cards. No,
I really hope they don't do another... I mean, we were discussing this earlier on. It's Insomniac. They shouldn't do like another. Here's a movie tie-in game.
Oh no!
Here's another one. Here's another one.
But this is the thing, because it's not tying into any movie. That's the beautiful thing. It's just Spider-Man PS4 at the moment. There's no subtitle for it yet or anything.
Yeah.
Which there inevitably will be.
There needs to be.
Because we need to know which. We don't know. I don't know if it's actually which Spider-Man it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, Rocksteady. Speaking of superheroes...
Holy fucking shit, this was an announcement.
Now then, Mark, are you prepared to throw down £350 for an hour's or 2 hours worth of detective work?
Which realistically, and this kind of brings a good question, because it also brings a little bit round to the question I was going to ask us earlier on, which is, do you buy a Sony VR headset now, knowing full well that another iteration of the console's on the way, and will that really stay the compatible unit, or will they go, well, now we've got this, we can do a bigger screen display and other things, whoops, we're going to release a new one, folks. Because I really want to be donning the cape and cowl.
Yeah, but I think it's a fairly reasonable price point to enter in.
It is for where we are with VR at the moment, but it isn't from a pound note point of view. Somebody said you could spank 350 quid on something which isn't a console as a peripheral, which may potentially get updated 2 or 3 years down the line when they start using the console that they've already announced. It's like, ooh.
One word, iPhone.
Yeah, true.
And for me, I think, it's if people are prepared to spend 600 quid every year or in some cases every 6 months, to get a slightly different bevel and a different process. I don't know. That's obviously what's changed the whole market with these things.
So I guess to answer your question, yeah, damn
Yeah,
right,
well,
I'm getting it. And
An hour of Cape Cowley goodness.
damn right. I mean, they went Batman VR, and I was like, yeah, and then they went Rocksteady, and I went, yeah.
This is what Rocksteady's been working on.
These guys are good.
Yeah.
Cool. Can't wait.
Then obviously we had some Detroit Becoming Human, which I didn't realise it at first. And then it was just like, oh yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
I should have clicked its Android.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. But that looks interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that really said to me, holy shit, they've got a big heavy rain feel in there.
Yeah. But again, I was reading and watching a couple of bits, and I don't want it to get that sense that it's like, oh, you've got all of these wonderful, wonderful choices, but it always just seems to bottleneck to that same one or two.
But it's funny, Heavy Rain didn't do that too badly.
Not too badly, no.
There was
always that inevitable choke point, as you were. But you could obviously branch off and get other endings at the end of it.
No, nobody's ever successfully done a completely bespoke feel to an end of a game where you go, holy shit, that character's dead, or they're now in a relationship, or actually he's now king, or whatever, but you know what I mean?
No, that's the thing. I mean, I'd be very intrigued by it. I really enjoyed Heavy Rain. I never played Beyond. But they're also remastering Indigo Prophecy. Fahrenheit. Depends where you are.
Yeah.
Is what it was called. But yeah, they're remastering that. That's going to be releasing fairly soon for the PS4.
Cool.
So that should be good. And then there was obviously, because Activision and Sony are very chummy writers of pretty much at the moment. You had they were obviously had Call of Duty, which for the first I thought it was Eve or something at first when I first started watching it, and then it obviously. Well, we were saying when about halfway through, you're like, oh wait, no.
Well, it's funny actually. I was the flip on this. So it started, and the second he fired his gun, I was like, this is Call of Duty. But I thought, it can't be Call of Duty because it feels a bit cheaper and shitter than Call of Duty normally. Call of Duty feels it's completely, this whole zip lining from point to point in space. Completely new gameplay style. And I was like, and that's what Call of Duty will do for the next iteration. But I was just like, it feels a bit shit. So, is it really Call of Duty? And then they showed it was Call of Duty, and I thought, fuck, okay, it is. And then I realised it's because whose version is it this time?
It's Infinity's.
Yeah. Opposed to
Treyarch.
Yeah, well, it feels...
And then Sledgehammer now as well. You've got 3 studios.
So I was like, okay, so is this going to be the week show? But I mean, it looked good. For the first time with a Call of Duty game, I was like, that's quite a nice mechanic.
I've been saying it for the last couple of years. I really enjoyed Modern Warfare. I really enjoyed Black Ops. I hate how they've ruined that and basically made it Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Or kind of future Modern Warfare, or not too far in the future Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
I've said for years that either just go ridiculous and just go ridiculously far into the future where you've got space battles and laser guns and all of that stupid stuff.
Pew, pew, pew.
Where you can just make up whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or stick to your guns and
literally.
Imagine how much of the Cold War they can touch upon.
Yeah, it'd be cool stuff.
Still with Black Ops, because again, you don't have to have Frank Woods and Mason. You can use other guys. There was lots of operators in those days.
Yeah.
But no, for me that was one we didn't talk about. Days Gone, wasn't it?
Well, so I was leaving this one from the beginning because obviously one of the opening things that you see is Days Gone, and it's a FMV of
horrible cheesy.
And I was like,
the smell of your hair and it's just. Ugh.
So I was watching it and I was going yeah all the way through it. I'm ready to forget this game the second it's over. And then right at the end they said, and we're just going to leave you with some gameplay of a game you saw earlier on, Days Gone. Completely changed my opinion of that game. Holy fucking shit, that looks serious. For those who don't know, this is a game in which you're being There's been some sort of apocalyptic activity.
There's some pandemic
Yeah.
has occurred and turned the majority of the population into zombie-like.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. And as a result of it, people are surviving, and you see a character who's basically a hitman, I guess.
Well, he's
Not a hitman,
a mercenary stroke bounty hunter.
Yeah.
You've
travelling
got little
vagabond job.
enclaves of
yeah.
people hire him to go and do stuff, basically, or find people.
And he's traipsing around some wooded area on his motorbike and not traipsing.
Well, he's
but
looking
around.
after. He's looking for a guy, isn't
Yeah.
he?
And he's hunting this guy down where he catches up with him at this wood mill, and holy shit, there's the initial scrabble between the two of them. You're like, that's not too bad, and then the guy he's chasing kind of
They fall
gets
off the
fucked
roof
off and
yeah.
breaks his leg and he can't get up, and then the horde starts coming for him and he's like, actually I'm going to finish you off by leaving you for them, and they hit him, and then instantly somehow they've captured it amazingly. You get this bit of like, holy shit, now they're going to come for me. And then from that moment onwards all the way up to the end of that video, I was just on the edge of my seat watching this horde like flood and chase after him. And
It's like the movie Daisy, isn't it? When you're seeing the hordes of zombies piling over each other
Yeah.
to get, and it is genuinely terrifying.
it's like run for your fucking life
Yeah.
material. That moment when they attack the other guy and then they kind of start slowly trickling towards you, which then turns into a flood of enemies, and you're like trying to thin the crowd, so you go to all these bottleneck points trying to thin them out. They're pouring out of the window. It's just like, it's amazing, really impressive.
It's that bit like when you see him first go under the train carriage, and then he turns around and you just see the doors fling open, and like you say, this just maelstrom of bodies and arms and limbs falls out of it, and it just comes streaming towards you, or rushing towards you, and you are just literally just like shit.
And to be fair, right, in that situation, he, the guy who's playing, he was just holding the crosshair perfectly at head height and just like streaming as many as every bullet was hitting someone.
But it just didn't matter.
And he still couldn't hold him back. And it wasn't to the point where he got himself right up to the top of the roof on this bridge kind of bit and finished him off. And he's like, and you're like, oh fuck, man, that was intense. Jumping through windows, all this sort of shit. And you finally get someone, and you think, nice. And then it sort of pans back and he looks around and there's just like
thousands more
all sort of pouring towards the building he's on, and you're like, and he even says like, oh shit, doesn't he?
Yeah, it looked unbelievable.
Yeah, it looked intense, put it that way.
It did, yeah. Again, very much. I'll let's play that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't think I'd manage to make it through a night playing that.
No,
I'd end up having a fucking heart attack or something.
One of my top games for E3, that one.
Yeah, big surprise that was. But yeah, so that was pretty much Sony's conference.
All in all,
really good. It was just bam, straight in, flow, game after game after game, no fluff.
I was excited by Microsoft stuff because I'm a bit of a Microsoft fan in the sense of I have an Xbox and that's where my main investment is. But I think you're right. I think Sony's one probably was better.
There was more that we've not known about, new stuff that's come through from Sony.
Interest, yeah.
Like you say, God of War, like you say, Days Gone, Spider-Man, the Crash remasters. Obviously they're not new games as such, but Batman VR, again the Kojima, forgot all about that. Death Stranding, the weird whale.
What the fuck?
It was mental, just a complete bizarre, batshit crazy. His Norman Reedus looks like he's had something cut out of his body, and he's got some handcuffs. Oh no, there's a baby and a black umbilical cord attached to it. He's crying now, he's hugging it. Oh, it's disappeared, but it's leaving a little handprint. Jesus, what the fuck?
Don't worry, there's
is going
wells
on?
everywhere, like dead fish.
Now he's got some dog tags on, and there's 5 people floating in the sky.
Yeah. Thank you, Kojima. Yeah, just absolutely stark bollocks.
Yeah, absolutely
crazy nuttiness.
But there was a lot more surprises I found from Sony conference. Like you say, the Microsoft one, we knew all about most of these games, I think.
Finally, I mean, what about Nintendo?
Again, we knew it was always just going to be pretty much 2 things: Pokemon and Zelda.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, Pokemon I couldn't give a rat's ass about. They showed off a bit of the Pokemon Go gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
They announced a little Bluetooth bloody button that you can catch them, so you don't have to get your phone out and look like a complete moron.
Yeah.
Now you just got to click with your button on your little moron bracelet.
Yeah.
No, but again, loads of Zelda gameplay. That looks very intriguing and very interesting.
What are you with Zelda now? Now that you can jump.
Well, a dedicated jump button. I don't know. That kind of... I don't know. That's a controversial point for me. I don't know. It looked good though. Looked phenomenal how it ran. Like when they said that was gameplay, the trailer they showed last year.
Yeah.
They said that was gameplay, and everyone guffawed and scoffed.
Yeah.
No, they were on the money with that.
They've done some clever little things with this, haven't they?
Very good looking game. It's basically a Studio Ghibli game.
Yeah. But I mean, as in even how they're designing sort of gameplay mechanics. Like we watched a little video earlier on there saying like Epona won't just pile into it. You know, it's not like The Witcher 3's roach issues. It won't just pile into the middle of a tree. It will run around it and stuff like that.
Well, there's all of the stuff that, like with the swords, your swords break.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's got its own
lifespan.
You can snowboard on shields, but it will, like you say, it will destroy your shield. And yeah, there's loads and loads of stuff you've got to eat for the first time.
Yep. Apples grow on trees and you can pick them. And
yeah. So no, it's very, very interesting. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Really, we could spend a whole hour on that.
Yeah.
We won't just lightly touch on it. It just looks phenomenal. I think definitely system seller.
Yeah.
That's selling the NX for me. Ever Oasis. That's a new game. Something new from Nintendo. So I got my surprise. New RPG for the 3DS. It's but Desert somethings or other. There's not really a great deal of gameplay shown for it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's a new game. Paper Mario Color Splash has been dated. That's October the 21st, I believe.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
And a date for Dragon Quest 7. But again, Dragon Quest can care less. But that was pretty much Nintendo's.
Cool.
So, not a great deal, but loads of Zelda.
So all in all, overall, E3 as a whole.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, not too... Again, a lot of stuff leaked. We knew a lot of stuff beforehand. But we got a lot of dates and a release announcements.
Sorry, wait, let's flip it. Your least impressive couldn't give a fuck game?
FIFA. Every year. Pretty much most of EA's stuff that they announced. I can't honestly say that there was a great deal there.
Single player storyline on Titanfall?
That was horrendous, and having win out Jose Mourinho, and it's just horrible moment.
Most cringeworthy moment of E3?
Oh, it's those two pre-show guests from EA's play.
Yeah.
They were horrible. They were just so bad, and that moment with Jamie Foxx and Zac Efron. Like, you were excited. I mean, these are actors. Like, I swear Jamie Foxx hasn't been nominated for Oscars and stuff.
Yeah.
And he can't even muster up the energy to lie or act, even though he has been paid. Says it all.
Yeah,
Are you excited to play Battlefield 1? Yeah. Stoked. Or whatever comment. Meh.
Trite comment came out, amazing.
What about you?
Do you know what? Most thing I don't give a fuck about is... I'm kind of with you with like the EA stuff. I just watched that whole conference and it really deflated me, and luckily I picked up afterwards by Microsoft.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. For most cringeworthy moment, I don't know. I think it might have been after I think it was a Microsoft conference. Yeah, I can't remember. There's one with the guy and the girl who's had guy with the glasses, and they just stood there kind of waiting. Because one thing at the end of every E3, they never manage. Oh, it might have been the Sony one actually. At the end of every E3 conference, they never manage to fluidly move from the end of the conference to the announcers or the people who are doing the pre-show or after shows. And there's always this pause where they look at the camera for ages, and they're like, "Am I excited yet? When do I start pretending to be excited? Is it now?" oh wow, what a show that was, and it's just like, oh god. So those for me are like every E3 has that moment. I see each year.
I think that's where they've not really had to worry about sort of satellite networking issues and all of
Please
that.
pretend to be excited now. Like dreadful.
Yeah.
But yeah, and most exciting thing.
I don't know, this is difficult though, because I was trying to think of a top 3.
Days Gone for me had my most. Wow, that's very very cool. Batman VR, very very cool.
Damn, that's going to cost me a lot of money.
Yeah. So those are kind of the big ones which are rattling around.
I mean, I couldn't really get it down to it's like 6 I've got here. I've got Steep, looking for that. Zelda, definitely, 100%. Absolver, that Kung Fu Dark Souls game.
That looks interesting.
That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon Wildlands, because that's the game that I wanted The Division to be. Forza Horizon 3, just because it looks unbelievable and it's an amazing game. And Sea of Thieves, because who doesn't want to dress and talk like a pirate?
Yeah.
And as they put in the trailer, what great water.
Yeah.
It looked unbelievable.
I really wanted to add to my list Spider-Man PS4, but I've got a feeling I hope it's going to be great, because I'm glad that Insomniac are doing it, but I've got a feeling it could go south.
That's my biggest surprise, though. That was the one that I didn't see coming at all, and there was no rumblings about that at all anywhere.
Cool. So there we are, folks. That's our wrap up. I mean, that's like a long podcast to listen to, but I'm sure you enjoy it anyway. Link, final thoughts?
Excited for the year ahead, for the next few months. A lot of big stuff coming out.
Yeah, there is a lot of big stuff coming out, and personally, I think it's a rich gaming time coming up. Can't wait.
I need a PS4. God damn it.
Yeah. So from Angry Link Kids,
Adios.
and for me, it's ciao.